black women versus black men. What is the difference? First of all, I want to make it clear that I have a respect for every single human being, doesn't matter black, brown or white, but especially for black women. Black women is most hardworking, brave, committed and beautiful than any other human being. But at the same time, they have suffered and faced most of the hardship, negligence, injustice and unfair treatment than any other women of any other race. On the other hand, black men have let down their black women. I'm not saying that all the black men are like this. There are great black men out there, they're hardworking, they're family men. But most of them, unfortunately and with regret, they have let their black women down. They have left them at the time of need when they really needed it. They left them for a white woman or any other reason and left them to raise their kids as a single black mom. That's why mostly in Western countries, black women are the most single women in any other race. So this is the dilemma. That's why you see crimes in black community and the family breakdown and many other things. It is my humble request that please do not leave your black woman alone and do not leave your kids alone. Please, family unity, education, technology, these are very important things. Please do not leave this. At the end, I would say that if I said something you didn't like, apologize. Thank you. Blacks, member of parliaments and their white wives. Britain has a new prime minister and first time she appointed a couple of black ministers. But the sad reality is this, all the black member of parliament, doesn't matter which party they belong to, they have white wives. This is the problem. This further proves my point that whenever black become rich or they are in power or they are famous, first thing they do, they abandon their own. They do not go back to have their black wife. First thing they do, they go have a white wife or white girlfriend. And this is the main problem. It is disrespectful for a black woman. That's why we see their family breakdown in black families. And in modern era, we see Black Lives Matter. At the end, I would say that if I said something you didn't like, apologize. Thank you.
Slow down, grab the wall, wiggle like you're tryna make your ass fall off. I didn't think I wanna smash your mouth now. Speed up, gas pedal.
Before I get started, I want to say that I apologize. All right, I apologize for the content of this video on a certain level. All right, but the clips that I have or the images that I have, the screen grabs that I have, shit. And I had it for a while, and I debated or tried to figure out a way to present it in a middle of the road kind of way. And I guess I was wrong for that. Okay, I could be honest about that. I guess I was wrong. A while back I did this. I did a video called VINOD, right? It was some supposed. We haven't verified whether she's actually a real person or not, but there was this Indian feminist that was giving really shitty advice to an Indian woman that had cheated on her husband and got pregnant allegedly got pregnant by some other man, and she was telling the woman how to finesse the guy and keep him in a marriage and shit. Irregardless, she's told the other woman that it was her actual husband's responsibility to take care of her affair child, despite her actions and everything. And I thought that was reprehensible, obviously, and I posted a video about it. And a lot of people came and looked at the shit. Now, I'm not here to talk about VEENA because, I have something else I want to talk about. I want to just get off my chest and off my hard drive. All right. So, after the VEENA thing, I went into an internet hole and I found this shit that was so fucked up that, usually I open with receipts, but if I was, I have a screen grab. Right, I'm going to put it up at some point in this video. But if I was to read what was written there, I would get a strike. Okay, I don't want the strike, so I'll just talk about it in general. Basically, it was an account. I don't know if it's alleged or it's fiction or anything like that. I got it from some Indian page, and it was detailing parties, gatherings where Indian women went to get impregnated by Caucasian men. I thought it was funny when I checked a bunch of times to see if it was just maybe erotic fiction or something, because that's a big thing. That's a thing. I haven't found one way or the other whether it's true or not. And I want to preface this by saying that in the last 30 plus years I've interacted with a lot of people from, that region of the world, the India and stuff and that around there. And it always impressed upon me. A running joke when I used to live on the West Coast was that like Indian men were so fucking horny and shit. They were super horny, and they deserved the reputation that black men had and shit. Because as you well know, people say that black men are just like we're infused with sexual energy, and we're always on the make. We always want to just bang everything. We want to bang everything, and that's why we bang fat white women and other women of color and shit, as they like to say. Like low value women and all that we bang anything. And that has been problematic for me in my life when I've traveled, in my younger years. I would get like some women you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole coming up to me with an entitled attitude, like I'm just supposed to fuck them. And I'd give them my middle finger, okay, just to be polite about it. But like I read this account, and it was horrifying. It was horrifying. I was like, is this what they would do if they, with their whole feminism thing? Is this what they do? Basically, the account details the women meeting at a hotel, some hotel or some private location, and they could bring pillows and supplies or whatever. But basically, these women were laying down on the floor, and these guys were just taking turns walking around the room, banging them as much as they like. But the rule was that they could have no contraceptives. They had to. They were not allowed to use the protection, whatnot. It was supposed to be, and mostly I don't even know if it was, I could read it again, but it made me like I retched, and I did like this vomit in my mouth thing, because I get the visual. I'm a visual person, so when I'm reading it, I'm seeing it, So basically, like there was a shit ton of, white dudes there, mostly younger white dudes they would get. Wasn't really old white dudes. It was like young dudes in their 20s that were traveling and stuff, and they were somehow pressed in service here, to offer these women. And I'm talking about groups of over 10 women, in a single location, a single enclosed location. And there was luxury items there, and you could clean up and take showers and get back to it and shit. But basically, it was just like kind of, a sexual gathering and shit. I can't say the other word, but YouTube bans it. And I just thought it was fucked up. And then I remembered, like, sometimes some of the Indian women I had met had talked about, how they were into white dudes and all this shit. And, I just rolled my eyes. So, like, we hear enough of that in our community and shit. And, so I decided to make a video about this and shit. But then I just was reading it, and I got so fucking grossed out just reading the account that I had to, I just trashed the original recording, right? Because I actually read it out, I actually narrated it out. I actually read it, to the mic. And then I was like, I can't put this shit up. And I just thought about that, like the wild hyena culture is everywhere, shit, And the reason I'm talking about it today is because of the video where the Indian guy is expressing his unwanted opinion about how things go, interpersonal issues in our own ethnic community and our black community, the foundational black American community. This guy was talking about how we bash black women and blah, 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 and stay with our women and all this shit. But I know that the Indian dudes was was coming into our community, at least on the West Coast, like running through a bunch of, low value black women from what I could see, and some middle of the road. You had those sisters that, they don't like no brothers, and but they'll date an Indian dude that's like the same color as us and shit, but like maybe a little kind of gravy tone there. And a associate of mine, he actually had a kid by a black woman and shit, and she was making his life a living hell. And he, I think he was seeing his kid for the most part and everything. And he had it set up. She finally relented when he set up a trust for her kid, the kid that she had with him, where she just gets the money no matter automatically. And this guy had a business and everything that he had established over here. And he was just paying her, once he busted off a check, the extortion game, she shut up. It was the lady that he had this kid by was like a sapphire, like a Aunt Esther, any kind of sapphire, loud mouth, dark skinned sister and shit, ugly fucking face, old, 5 body, 10 ass. Okay, I had to separate the ass. That's why he explained that he was into it. And it was just a shit show. And I just hated that, when I saw the clip of this guy expressing his opinion, I had to go further than just telling them to mind his own fucking business and shit. Even when I used to live in another part of the West Coast, I still saw the same shit with these Indian dudes and shit. I used to know these two Indian dudes that they were just going out looking for. They didn't care if it was just one girl or two girls, but they were getting like black women. Like one black woman, and both of them was doing a Chinese finger cuffs thing on her. If you know what I mean about that, it was doing like the three, the tray on her. Two guys on her, and they didn't care. And it wasn't just black women. It was like when I say them out like fucking with Latin women or something, it'd always be like somebody's mama, somebody like a housekeeper, somebody in a house like a housekeeper that looks like somebody's grandma, looks like the mother, the grandmother, or the housekeeper on Family Guy. They banging that shit out, you know. And I just get I get kind of triggered when people from other communities try to stick their nose in our community and shit. Everybody, because of white supremacy worldwide and global, and the perception of the Caucasian person, a minority majority over here, but on the whole, the Caucasian person across the planet, they're perceived as, I guess, top of the food chain because everybody aspires to be them, you know. And so the people, the bootlicks, even the other ethnic communities that aspire to be them, they feel the same way they do and shit. They feel like this, patronizing paternalism and shit towards our ethnic community over here in the States, or I guess I like to say the colonies. They come over here and we get the unsolicited opinions, and then you just sit up there and you laugh. I know I did. Me and some other brothers, we laugh when we see them with some of these jacked up, black women, or even I see some of them with good looking black women and shit. And then I actually had a sister get mad at me because she went on a date with this guy, who was this Indian guy. She went on a date with this middle-aged Indian. He's like a bottom shelf Brad, but Indian. Kind of like somebody with a dad bod guy. And the guy had put her on a blast. He had like a shitload of gutter sex with her. But in her normal walking day, she was like this uptight, like kind of Michelle Obama acting chick. But like this dude, she had gargled the she had ate the groceries and gargled his nuts. Fuck. Sorry. And at one point, like she kept seeing, she saw me, and I saw her, and then she looked and she saw some other brothers, and we had the same expression, and she knew he had put her on blast and shit, and they had like a big fight, and I think he still was banging her, but like they kind of distanced. She was embarrassed because we know, and I think we should bring that back and shit. I think we should just laugh at to some of this bullshit, but I just got to tell the Indian. I got to tell that Indian guy, who made this, a series of videos and, social media admonishing black men for their behavior in our own community. It's our community. It's our house and shit. Yeah, he had, he had so much to say, and I just have something, to say to him. Mind your own fucking business.